ever been in a room full of people that's really, really quiet and you're the only one making noise? Yeah, me too. Back when I was about 19 years old, I was in college and I lived about 2 blocks away, maybe 3 blocks away from the school. And this was my very, very first class in the morning. It was a math class and it was a really, really difficult class. And so I really needed to get the most out of this course so that I could pass and get good grade. And so every morning I woke up. This was college, so I didn't like to wake up in the morning. And every morning I woke up just in barely enough time to get to class. So every day I would wake up late, get ready super fast, and run to class. And when I got to that classroom, and then it was up on the 3rd floor, so I'd run up the stairs and then I'd sit down in this classroom right when the class started. I wasn't about to go any time earlier than I needed to be there. So I showed up right as soon as class started, sat down, and every single day I went through the same embarrassing experience. I would sit there. I will have just run 3 blocks and 3 flights of stairs, and I'm sitting there in a math class, breathing really loud. I'm sitting there huffing and puffing, trying to catch my breath while everyone in the class is absolutely silent. The only sound is me. This experience is the image that I would like to express to you today for a time when perhaps you feel embarrassed, you feel stressed, you feel anxious, you feel in a rush, and you get to someplace and the only thing you can hear is your breath. Today, we are talking about the power of meditation and breath. This is one time in my life when I didn't want to be breathing. I didn't want to hear the sound of my breath, and I didn't want it to be there. Most of your life, you probably don't pay attention to your breath. You probably don't pay attention to it at all, whether you're hearing it, whether you're not, unless you're running and you're trying to drown out the sound of your breathing with loud music or something like that. We've all done that. So today I want to talk about the power of breath and walk you through a couple of ways that you can use your breath to actually be beneficial for you. One of the greatest things about this math class was that because I had just run there and I had this high level of oxygen and I was breathing really hard, I was actually setting myself up for some pretty solid success. That high level of oxygen when you're breathing really hard gives you really clear focus. It gives your brain a next level of the ability to be able to think clearly, to focus, and to prioritize what is important in that moment. For me, it was math class. For you, it could be anything. But I'm not telling you that you have to run 3 blocks and go up 3 flights of stairs at top speed in order to get this experience. The power of breath is awesome in that you can just think about your breath, and that will give you the same benefit. There are several ways that you could benefit from breathing. One of those ways is exercise, bringing that level of oxygen up because your muscles need more oxygen. Your muscles need more nutrients, and so your blood has to pump faster. That's probably the very best way that you can use your breath. The second best way is by simply thinking about your breath and becoming very present in the moment and taking nice, conscious, deep breaths. We're going to go over a couple of those in a moment. And the third way to improve or to really benefit from your breath is with laughter. By laughing, you actually produce the same amount of oxygen and hormones and benefits that you do when you're exercising. So if you're not in the mood to go for a quick run, or if you don't have time to do a full workout, listen to some comedy. Listen to this podcast. Go back over a couple of episodes and get yourself laughing. So let's go back to the second method of laughter that I mentioned in the middle there. The conscious, just thinking about your breath and making it a conscious effort. I want you all to think about your breath for just a minute. Just breathe in and breathe out. When you breathe in, I want you to breathe in through your nose. Your nose has amazing filters in it, and so your air becomes really, really clean. So breathe in through your nose and then breathe out through your mouth. This is one technique I use with a lot of my clients as well. You can actually increase your core engagement by just changing the way you breathe out. So I want you to take your hands and put them right next to your hip bones, between your belly button and your hips. And then push kind of deep down in there. And I want you to make like a coughing sound, like you should be able to feel those muscles flex under there. Did you feel that? If you didn't, cough harder. So put your fingers down between your belly button and your hips and then cough or breathe out really hard. You feel that muscle underneath there flex. That muscle is called your transverse abdominis, and it is one of the strongest muscles in the core. And if you engage this muscle more often, your core gets more activity done. Anytime your core is engaged, your spine is supported, and there's just lots of good benefits from it. So every time my clients are breathing during an exercise, I tell them to breathe out like they're breathing through a straw. So imagine, put your mouth in a small purse and breathe out like you're breathing through a straw. You can feel those muscles in that transverse abdominis flex. Put your hands right back where they were and do that again. Breathe in deep through your nose and exhale forcefully like you're breathing through a straw. That was some quick full body technique on how you can benefit from your breath. So your core is engaged. You are able to filter your air so it's nice and clean for your lungs. Physically, that is an awesome benefit for your body. Just breathing like that, breathing in deep through your nose and exhaling forcefully to engage that core. High level of physical benefit for just engaging your breath. Now let's talk about some mental benefits. You guys know that I have experienced postpartum depression, and I'm a huge believer in consistent and frequently taking care of your mental health. Because if you don't have your mental health intact, then your physical health tends to lack as well. And then every other aspect of your life changes. So take these two things into account. Be conscious aware of them and make this a consistent activity in your life. We'll talk about some habits as we always do at the end of the show. But for now, I want you to go through 2 mental health practices with me in the field of meditation. Today's a 2-for-1. You get a little bit of a bonus because you get another funny story. So when I very first started meditating, I had a friend that taught a yoga class. And at the beginning of her yoga class, it was yoga and stretching and movement and all of the things that I fully understand and love and appreciate. But then at the end of the class, every single week, she would do a shavasana where you just lay on your back and you breathe for 10 solid minutes. The first time I went to this class, you guys, I'm a high vibe, high energy, always on the go, type A personality. So my brain is always going. So when I'm asked to lay down on my back and just breathe, my brain goes nuts. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is the most bored we've ever been in our lives. Think of the 100 million of other things we could be doing right now. So that's where my head was at the first couple of weeks of class. And I'm just thinking, this is the worst. I really, really hate meditation. But the teacher, Cami, she was patient with me and she said, give it some time. Just lean into it and just stick with it for a little bit. So I went to her class 6 times in a row, which is 6 weeks. And over the 6 weeks, I came to understand and love meditation. During that 6-week period, that first 2 classes, the 10 minutes seemed super, super long and really, really difficult. But then the 3rd and 4th week, it still seemed long, but it became less difficult. And then that 5th and 6th and 7th and 8th week, onto that 2nd month of doing it, I came to actually really enjoy this time. My brain is never empty. I am always thinking. I'm always on the go. I'm always in a rush. I'm always doing a million tasks. And so for this to just be 10 minutes once a week, maybe even twice a week, that I could just lay there and breathe and not think about anything was magic. For some of you, you're like, I don't even know how to do that. How would I make my brain stop? Here's how you do it. I'm about to tell you. The very fastest and easiest way for anyone to meditate, and especially for me, is to count your breath. So right now you're thinking a million things. You're processing what I'm talking about. You're thinking about all the things you have to do today, whatever else is going on in your mind. I'm going to clear your mind. Are you ready? I want you to count. You're going to count your breath. So we're going to breathe in for 5 seconds, and then you're going to breathe out for 8 seconds. So here we go. Breathing in through the nose. Out for 8. Repeat that again. Breathe in for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Out 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Do that one more time. In 2, 3, 4, 5. Out 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Now I want you to engage your core and use your nose and breathe through the straw like I told you at the beginning of the show. So we've got our physical benefit, we've got our mental benefit. We're going to clear our mind and use our body all at the same time. And it's just going to take 5 seconds and 8 seconds. Here we go. Breathing in for 5 through the nose. 4, 5, exhale. Loud, forceful, like you're breathing through a straw. Pull those core muscles in. 8. Inhale, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Exhale, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. What are you thinking about? Nothing. You just cleared your mind, maybe for the first time in a long time. And all it took was counting your breath. When you're counting your breath, when you're breathing that deep and you're getting both the mental and physical benefit of it all, your brain can't occupy any other thoughts. Congratulations. You can now meditate. That is the easiest, simplest, fastest meditation ever. And I use it all the time. Like I said before, it took me 6 to 8 weeks of practicing this. You guys know how much I love the 1, 2, 3 habits rule. 2 months of practice got me to be able to understand and love this habit. It took me 10 minutes at a time before I could get into this. So maybe some of you are like, 3 breaths didn't get me there. That's okay. Lay down on a flat surface somewhere, get in a comfortable position, and just practice this method. Even just sitting at your desk. You don't have to be laying down. This doesn't have to be some dramatic thing. Wherever you're at, when you need to be present and you need that extra elevated oxygen, I encourage you to just count your breath. In for 5, out for 8. In through the nose, out through a straw. And just think about the numbers. Count in, count out. And what that does is it clears your mind. It's absolutely phenomenal. And over this period of time where I was training myself on how to do this, and you might be experiencing this as well, if this is brand new concept to you, it might take you a couple of weeks to get into it. And I would give yourself 5 to 10 minutes to practice this. It seems like a long time the first few times you do it. You guys, I'm not kidding you. I was like losing my mind in that yoga class. I thought I was going to go nuts. That last 10 minutes, the first 2 weeks, I was like, that was the worst 10 minutes of my life. But then the next few weeks and the next few weeks, I absolutely loved it. It was my favorite part of the class. And this is now a technique that I use all the time. And I can get into a meditative state in like a minute or less now. I don't need a full 10 minutes anymore, but maybe you do to start out. So give yourself some time to practice this. Maybe set 5 minutes a day that you can just practice. Pick a time of day when you're stressed, when you're in a rush, or pick a time of day when you're calm and relieved. Whatever you need this to be for you, have it during that time. I personally use meditation as, this is a life habit hack for you. I'm going to break this down at the end as a habit too, but I personally use meditation as the fastest way to balance my hormones post-exercise. I absolutely love this technique. And for me, again, it took a few minutes the first few times that I did it. The first times that I was learning how to do this, it took 5 to 10 to 15 minutes even to get into that meditative state where I really feel like my brain is clear and I'm recovering. Now I just quick pop this out in 2 or 3 minutes. I usually turn on one song and I listen to that song while I'm breathing after my runs or my workouts. And this is a really, really super fast way for me to rebalance my hormones after exercise so that I'm not in high cortisol, in a high stress level after a difficult workout. So that is again, I'm going to explain more about that in just a second, but know this, when you're starting out, give yourself some time to practice and it will get easier and it will get faster for you as well. So if you're like, I don't have 10 minutes a day to do this. Well, first of all, if you don't have 10 minutes a day to do something, you're booking yourself too tight. But second of all, if you don't have 10 minutes a day or you don't want to spend 10 minutes a day doing this, it's not a permanent thing. Start with 10 minutes, even start with 5 minutes, and then you'll be able to get lower and shorter as you go. Or maybe you'll love it so much you want to go longer. For me, some days I just really want nothing else. So after a workout or when I'm really stressed out, I'll just lay and listen to music and breathe for 15 minutes or so. I absolutely love this release for myself. Again, I'm a high vibe, high energy person, and I've always got a lot going on. So for me to just release is crucial, mentally, physically, emotionally, and otherwise. I absolutely love meditation. It's one of my very favorite practices. One of my other meditations that I do often, so that's my counting meditation where you just count your breath. One of my other meditations that I absolutely love, I call it your happy place. So we're going to walk through this one right now. I want you to just sit comfortably, get yourself in a good posture, be relaxed. You can close your eyes if you want, unless you're driving a car or somewhere else. Don't close your eyes if you're doing something dangerous. But if you're in a place where you can close your eyes, take a minute and just close your eyes. Center that breath, breathe in through the nose, out through your mouth. And now I want you to take your mind to an amazing place, somewhere that you absolutely love. wherever that place is for you. Go to your happy place. If you have more than one, then just choose one for today. One place that you love to be, that makes you feel happy. Be present in that place in your mind right now. Feel what it feels like to be there. What are you doing? Who are you with? What do you hear? What do you see? What do you smell? What do you taste? And what do you feel? Go through all 5 senses and give yourself that full sensory experience of being wherever you are. Experience that happy place so that, again, you can clear your mind of other thoughts. By using your 5 senses and that visual, that's one of the 5 senses, it takes you mentally to a different place. And that clears your mind, even for just a moment. Meditation doesn't have to keep your mind empty. Thoughts will come and thoughts will go. Acknowledge them and let them go. That's okay. And then center back to where your thought process is intentionally. Right now, we're thinking about our happy place. This is, again, another meditation that I use with my clients, my personal training clients, when they're doing a plank or when they're doing the hard part of a run or a really difficult lifting workout. When they're in a place physically that is really, really trying, I have them go to their mental happy place. And it's phenomenal. It's fascinating to me that their mind, once their mind is occupied, their body can do so much more. When you get to that point in the run where you're like, I can't do anymore, I can't keep this pace up, go to your happy place mentally and let your body keep going. Your body is so much more capable than your mind gives it credit for. Your mind is trying to protect it. Oh, hey, we're getting to a point of exertion. Let's take it back a notch. But really, your body is okay to go to the next level. That's what it's built for. It's built for progress. It's built for growth, for change. But your mind is a protective mechanism. So sometimes those two things can work against each other. So free yourself and allow your mind to go somewhere else when you're in a high stress or high work environment. Take your mind to your happy place. And if you practice this often, this is something that you'll be able, again, to pull up really quickly. This might take you a few minutes the first time you try it, and that's okay. But if you practice this and you have this thought ready at the ready and easily accessible for you, then when you are in a difficult circumstance or situation, your mind can be at peace and your body can continue going forward. This works with exercise stress or other kinds of stress. Sometimes I'll do this just when the kids are crazy and I'm overwhelmed with all the things I need to do. Just take a minute, breathe, and I picture myself on the beach in the warm sand, feeling the sun on my skin, but not getting a sunburn. That fine line of feeling warm and happy and at peace. I can hear the sound of the ocean. I can taste the salty air. I can smell all the ocean breeze, or I can feel the ocean breeze and smell the ocean air. That's my happy place. And that's something I can pull up immediately. My mouth is watering right now because I can feel, I can physiologically feel the thoughts that I'm producing because I do this so often. This is a meditation. This is a thought process that I have frequently. And I encourage you to do the same. Come up with your happy place. Get your mind comfortable with being there, and then use that happy place often to provide peace, to provide serenity, to provide you with a little bit of release from something that you need release from, whatever that may be. If you're in a difficult circumstance, if you're having a tough day, if you're in a high stress situation or circumstance, give yourself a little bit of a break. And if you need to keep going, if your body needs to continue doing what it's doing, your mind can be somewhere else and your body can continue forward because your body is amazing. And these two things, again, sometimes they work together, sometimes they sort of counteract each other. So if you understand how these two things work, you can take back control and you can be in charge of which of these two things you're listening to. This is absolutely a simple way to improve your mental and physical health and that psychological body-mind connection that really puts you in charge. So just to recap on what we talked about today, your breath is amazing, your body is amazing, your mind is amazing, and simple meditations can combine all three of those things. Bring you present into your breath, bring you clarity of mind, and bring you peace in your body, or bring you growth in your body, depending on what you're using these meditations for. Simple, simple meditations. These don't have to be difficult. A lot of people think, oh, meditation, I have to sit in the woods in silence for 24 hours or something crazy. No, I absolutely use meditation almost every single day. So to wrap up today, I'm going to give you those 3 habits that we do at the end of the show. The first habit is that hormone balancing meditation. This is one of the greatest discoveries I've ever made in my life. So right after you finish a hard workout where your heart rate is up and your oxygen levels are high, your cortisol is also very high, which is what gives you the ability to focus and do the thing you need to do to push your body to the next level. But if you don't naturally come down easily off of that cortisol, if your adrenaline stays high, your cortisol stays high, this can work into other parts of your day. If you go straight from your workout straight to work and you're immediately thinking and working and stressing, then you might just be on high cortisol all the time. This is really, really damaging to your nervous system and to other things in your body. So to prevent this from happening, I want you to just take a moment and practice meditating right after your workouts. Again, when I first started this, it took me maybe 10 or 15 minutes of practice to be able to clear my mind and focus and regain my composure and actually feel like I was recovering. This works especially well after lifting workouts. If you've lifted, your testosterone is elevated, you've got other things that are elevated in your body because you've been lifting, especially on a heavy lifting day. So if you've lifted weights, sometimes you feel a little bit sleepy. Any of you ever experienced that? Right after lifting weights, you kind of feel like, I need to take a nap. Well, this meditation, if you just lay down on the floor and you breathe and either count your breath or go to your happy place mentally, this will do the same thing as taking a nap would have. Really, your body doesn't need a nap. Your brain is just short on some things and there's some disconnect. You're in high cortisol gear and you're in low oxygen because your brain and your body need more. So you're in this really elevated state of working really hard. So if you give yourself that immediate release, just 5, 10, 15 minutes. I can do it in almost 3 minutes now. I just meditate really quickly right after a lifting or a hard running workout. So just a couple of minutes, whatever it takes for you to get into that state. This can be transformative. I have a lot of my clients do this as well, right at the end of the workouts, especially women between the ages of 30 and 60. This is one of the greatest things you can do for your body. Right after a hard workout, just lay on the floor and breathe for 5, 10, or 15 minutes. Breathe, go to your happy place, count your breath, whatever you want to do. But this quick meditation can give you the recovery you need to bring that cortisol down, to give your adrenals a little bit of a break after a hard workout. So that's habit number 1, meditate after hard workouts, especially lifting and really hard, high exertion days. So maybe if you're doing, sprinting or things like that, where your oxygen level is at full VO2 max, it's a great day to do that. The second habit of the day is just to think about your breath. A couple of times a day, I want you to just take some deep breaths and just make that mind-body connection. So you can feel mentally and physically, you can feel the connection, mind and body, by just thinking about your breath. You don't have to count it, just think deep breath in, deep breath out. And that will combine all of your forces together. Breath is so powerful, you guys, even if it's embarrassing in a math class. And the third habit of the day, we've talked about recovering right after a workout. We've talked about being conscious of your breath. The next one I want you to think about is creating those simple, quick access meditations for yourself. So maybe it's a song. I really, really love meditative music and meditation music. And so for me personally, when I just tell my Echo to play a meditation playlist every time I go to do a meditation, and it fires it up for me and it makes it super simple and really quick. It helps me to have that trigger. Now, every time I listen to that kind of music, I immediately start breathing a little slower and my body immediately calms down a little bit. So if I listen to this music before bed, it helps me to calm down. So come up with, some quick, easy access things that will help you get into that meditative state that you only do during meditation. I don't generally listen to that kind of music other times of day, but when I hear that kind of music, it immediately triggers that response because I do that when I meditate. This can be an image that you see or a quote that you read, a thought that you think, that happy place meditation in your mind, that visual, whatever the triggers are for you. The more frequently you practice them, the quicker you'll be able to access them later when you need them. Oftentimes, if I have my clients when they're running hard and they're doing something really difficult, and then I say, all right, go to your mental happy place, they can't get there. unless we've previously practiced it before. If we've done this meditation before, then it's super easy for them to go there because it's quick access and they know what to do. Their brain is already ready for that, and then their body can do more. It's so phenomenal. It's fascinating. I absolutely love this. So build in some quick triggers into your life. That's habit number 3, whether it be music, that same image of your happy place, going to the same place over and over again, or maybe it's a place in your house that every time you go there, you feel peace. Maybe you have a room in your house that you keep really serene and peaceful. Maybe it's a certain sound. You listen to waterfall sound, or like I said, that quote or that image, something in your life that when you see that, it helps you to meditate. And every time you're doing these deep breath exercises, or maybe not every time, but often when you're doing your deep breathing or these meditative exercises, bring that image up, bring that quote up, bring that song or that type of music up so that your body gets used to that pattern and it moves into your subconscious so that that will trigger for you. When you hear that sound or when you see that image, you'll just immediately be able to take a little bit of a breath and get a little bit of hormonal release or stress release. Mentally, physically, and in every other possible way, breathing is one of the best things you can do for yourselves. So today's podcast is all about meditation and math class and yoga class. All of the things that will help you to relieve stress in your life, to release the intense and hardships that you go through. We all go through hard things. We're not going to go through, or we're not going to be able to remove ourselves entirely from anything difficult or stressful. Stress doesn't go away, but if you learn to manage it, then it becomes not a big deal. It just becomes part of your day and you take back control. If you feel like your stress is controlling you, I highly recommend you try these 3 habits. And as always, habits are not something that you can do once, twice, 3 times, even 20 times. Be consistent with these habits. Do them for 30, 60 days at a time. 30 days will move into your conscious and you'll be very, ideally aware. You'll have an increased awareness of this activity in your life, but it won't become a subconscious habit until you've done it for maybe 40 to 60 days, depending on your brain and your physiology. Personally, for me, it takes about 55 days of practice before something becomes a habit for me. Once you've tried to form habits several times in a row, you'll be able to learn that about yourself as well. If you would like help with habitizing some of these things, with turning some of these things into consistent actions that you are able to do subconsciously, or you just have a really hard time being consistent on your own, get some support. I absolutely would love to help you with this. If you have a support, if you have a workout buddy or someone that keeps you accountable, phenomenal. That's fantastic. If you don't, please reach out to me. I would be happy to help you in this arena. Consistency is the number 1 indicator of success. It doesn't matter what you want in your life. If you are consistent, you will get results. I have a program that I call Habitize Health, and it is a 60-day program for women between the ages of about 30 to 60. I call them midlife mamas. If you're a midlife mama and you want to become more consistent with something, maybe it's nutrition, maybe it's fitness, maybe it's stress relief, maybe it's sleep, whatever the thing is that you feel like you are lacking in your life, if consistent action would help you to improve that thing, please reach out to me and let's get you in this program. It is phenomenal how quickly these women are changing not only their health, but many other aspects of their lives. We just finished a group with about 13 ladies in here, and 2 of them today just told us on our group coaching call that I got something totally different out of this than I expected. I was focused on my physical health and my relationship changed, or I was focused on my physical health and I feel totally mentally different. One of them said, I developed this fierceness of defending myself that I never thought that I had. And the other said, I have been able to put up boundaries and set myself up for success in her career and in many other aspects of her life because she focused on her health. Isn't that amazing? These ladies weren't focused on these things. Terry and Leanne, you were not focused on your relationship or on your career focus and all of these different things. You are focusing on 3 simple habits under the pillar of physical health. And because your focus was there, everything else in your life elevated. You guys, you're the same way. The 1, 2, 3 Habits program is about simplification. We take on way too much, way too fast, and we stress ourselves out. So in Habitize Health, we're going to help you work on one thing at a time. You're going to pick one aspect of your life that you want to improve. in your health. Maybe it's nutrition. Maybe it is fitness. Maybe there's a combination of multiple things in here. There are ways to do that as well. We do have a client in here that's doing mind, body, spirit. So she's doing one mental health habit, one emotional health habit, and one physical health habit. So again, we're going to give you a focus and we're going to work on 3 habits, 3 simple things that you can do every single day for 60 days. 1 focus, 2 months of effort, 3 simple habits. That's what Habitize Health is. If you are looking for consistency, whatever it is that you want to improve, your nutrition, fitness, sleep, sugar management, portion control, mental health, any of those things, this falls into the arena of what we can do in Habitize Health. You pick the habits, you are in charge, and then I help you be consistent so that these things not only become part of what you do, but become who you are. Imagine those dreams and goals that you have for yourself running for you on autopilot in the background. You're getting consistent results without consistent effort. It's absolutely incredible what you can do with just 3 simple habits in 2 months. If this sounds like something that you need in your life, please reach out to me at Susie B Habits on any social media platform. Or of course, you can find us in the Habits and Humor Facebook group. Certainly happy to help you in any of those places. Our website is susiebhabits.com if you'd like to read more. Again, if you guys are looking for consistency, whatever it is that you want in your life, whether you struggle with overwhelm, taking on too much at once, or if you're struggling with falling off the wagon, you have a good start, you can do something for a couple of weeks, and then something throws a wrench in your routine and it all goes to the wayside. Stop torturing yourself. Health shouldn't be a punishment. Your health shouldn't be something that stresses you out and takes over your life and is super complicated. Get in here and let's make it simple. Let's make it possible so that you can be the person you want to be on your daily life because your habits are running in the background for you. I like to say that you can think about what you want to think about and not what you have to think about once you've formed those foundational habits that do the work for you. If you're interested in Habitize Health, again, those links, susiebhabits.com or at susiebhabits on any social media platform. All right, you guys, that was today's episode. I will see you next week right here on Habits and Humor. I'm Susie B, your personal trainer, health educator, and habits coach. I'm excited to see you next time, and I can't wait to hear your stories about your meditation. I would love if any of you want to share on the Facebook group or on Instagram, or even just share on your own social media and tag us. What's your happy place meditation? Or what is one benefit that you get from working on your mental health by simply focusing on your breath? And if any of you try any of these 3 habits, I would love to hear your experience in the Facebook group. Come in here and tell us, hey, I've started meditating after my workouts and it's making a big difference. Those kind of things are absolutely powerful for this group. So we would love to have you in here sharing these. Thanks for being here, you guys. And as always, happy healthing. Thanks for joining us this week on the Habits and Humor podcast, where you come to learn about health and habits and then take action. If you're ready to take action and turn simple habits into massive results that last a lifetime, or you'd like to join our free live call with incredible guests every Tuesday, message me at Susie B Habits. That's SUZIB Habits on your favorite social media platform, and we'll get you in here. Or you can join our free Habits and Humor Facebook group for additional free resources. I'm Susie B, and this is Habits and Humor. Come to laugh, stay to learn, choose to live.